What is up, everybody, and welcome to a very, very, very special edition of Family Chats. We have the swollest dude in America here tuning in. He's stopping by. He's filling in for Freddie and Angel.
What's going on, y'all? What's going on?
Combined height of 7'3" of all three of them.
Yeah, straight up. Straight up.
We're just going to get right into things. I mean, we're going to try to have a quick episode. Not trying to take too much time out of y'all's day, considering it's the biggest sports fans right here. Caleb is, he knows a little bit.
I know my fair share, but I know how to play him better than I know how to talk about him. But we'll see what happens today.
Caleb, this is your first podcast.
Bro, this is my first podcast. This is my first podcast ever. And I'm pretty honored because, I listen to them a lot, but I've never appeared on one.
Podcasts are the way of the future.
Bro, they are. Information nowadays.
Bro,
who has time to sit down and watch TV when driving to work, sitting at lunch or something? You just listen to the podcast.
It's true, bro.
Right now, especially with Facebook, make sure you go like the Family Chat's Facebook page and Instagram page. But with going and seeing that, you can watch it whenever you need to, pause it whenever you need to, not having to go based on somebody else's timesheet or what they pay for, but what's actually convenient for you. I think it's awesome.
It's dope. Podcasts are amazing. I appreciate everybody who's still tuning in. I mean, 6 people. That's like
7.
That's like what we normally have. So
there we go.
For you guys to tune in, I appreciate it. We're gonna get started right now. I mean, we asked you guys earlier today to send me some questions on Instagram and Facebook. We got a lot of questions. I'm gonna try to knock this out in about 30 minutes.
Kind of like a rapid fire kind of a deal, right?
Obviously, we never stick to the time frame here, so anything goes though. It's my podcast, so.
There we go. All right, so I think we should start with probably the hardest question that we're going to get asked today. Or really, I'm just going to direct this to you because I don't even know how to answer. It's too difficult for my capabilities.
Let me hear it.
Okay?
Let me hear it.
Which basketball team has the best jersey color and design? Because we got to hit, we hit the males with the sports and stuff, but some of the females have their own opinion on appearance. Like, that matters.
We got the best questions we got came from females today.
Straight up.
Just because I don't know how to answer them. But I will try my best. Shout out to Jess Olivares. Eric Olivares is tuning in right now. I'm about to answer your question, Jess. And it's a tough one, all right? My favorite NBA jersey, probably just because I'm a huge Drake fan. The Toronto Raptors, they have an alternative jersey, all right? I'm going to put it in my YouTube video. I'm going to put a picture of it in my YouTube video. But obviously, that comes out on Wednesday. So you guys are just going to have to use your imagination.
Oh, my goodness.
It's black and gold. It's beautiful.
See, I think that's nice, but man, I don't know. I might be old school and in the house that I was raised up in, but there's something about the Lakers colors.
No, I thought you were going to say Lakers.
The Lakers colors, bro. Just with that purple and yellow mix. I don't know. It just goes so well together. Reminds me of like my Jordans that I own.
Bro.
Those retros.
It's so fire. One of the best regular jerseys, I would definitely say, just plain Jane jerseys, I got to give it to the 76ers. They just got a nice look.
Bro,
I like the feel of
very
their jersey.
clean. Yeah.
Very clean. I like the colors, So that's
and
my
it's a classic.
question.
So now let me ask you one more question based on the fashion that has been different for me. So I've never been like, I obviously watched basketball growing up, but one thing that I've noticed this year is they're not like not all of them are like the tank tops anymore. No. Like some of them are like the dry fit V-neck shirts. Like what is that?
Sleeves.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I've literally seen NBA players rip some sleeves off because they don't like them, but I think it's starting to grow on some NBA players. The Cavs wore them today in the first playoff game. We'll talk about that later. Didn't work out very well, but yeah, for sure.
Because I think the first time I saw it, LeBron was wearing it.
Yeah.
That's a big dude. So they have a shirt like that. But it's funny because like the shirt comes up to like here on him. It's like just covering like barely the top part of his shoulder.
They're so swole that like I gotta believe that is uncomfortable. It's gotta be uncomfortable.
He's so swole.
They're all.
We are talking basketball.
NBA players are.
They're extremely fit.
LeBron
is probably the swollest of the swoles.
They are incredible human beings nowadays.
They are. And they're a foot taller than I am.
But yeah, that was a great question, really a brain buster. So let's get into question number 2.
So I actually got another basketball question while we're on the subject. This is from Marco Konoha. Marco Konoha.
Shout out to Marco.
Who would win one-on-one, Kevin Love or Michael Jordan?
Yo.
Go.
That's so funny. He asked me what time we're going live. I can't text him right now, so someone can text Tony Morales. So, but basically, who would win in a one-on-one, Kevin Love or Michael Jordan? That's a tough one. Kevin Love's got some size, but there's no way Michael Jordan is losing to Kevin Love.
No.
I'm a big Michael Jordan hater, as most of our fans know. But, you know, I love Michael Jordan deep down. Ever since I was a kid, bro. Watching his...
You can't not love Jordan.
You can't not love Jordan. It's just that too many people love him too much and give him too much
He
respect.
is the GOAT.
But Kevin Love would not go down easy.
Listen.
He would score at least 5 points if they're playing.
Listen, Kevin Love would be good, but because Freddie, one of the founders of this podcast, is not here, I feel the need to say that Michael Jordan is the GOAT.
Okay.
And let's not take this away. That you're
Oh
talking
my
about
God.
a good basketball player, very good elite basketball player with Kevin Love. Elite. There not many guys his size can do what he can do.
No.
But we're talking about the GOAT with Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
So
We're talking about
yeah,
one of the greatest players of all time.
exactly. The greatest.
Top 3.
The greatest.
Top 2 greatest players of all time.
All right. So one more basketball question from this initial list. This is from Jacob Oxendine. Jacob, what's up, bro?
Shout out to Jacob.
Who's better, Harden or Westbrook? This is how to get deep.
That's a great
Harden
question.
or Westbrook?
That's a great question. And a lot of people now would say James Harden, just because he's had one good MVP caliber year. But let's not forget when we were in this same time of year last year when Westbrook was favored for MVP over James Harden. And now it seems to be like the role has switched a bit. But I would definitely say, who am I taking first on my team? Like, if I'm drafting a team, everybody's in the draft, and I have either Westbrook or Harden, I'm taking Westbrook all day, every day.
Bro, I feel
I'm taking Westbrook all day, every day. They're two completely different players. That's true, Gavin, but I'm going to take Westbrook all day. I love the emotion on that guy.
Yes.
I love the loyalty that he has. He's just so committed to OKC and what they're doing in OKC that I just got to say that to me, he's top 3 players in the league right now.
Well, I agree, and it's not for me to say, how James Harden feels whenever he's playing, but there's a certain passion and intensity that you see with Westbrook. I mean, how many triple-doubles has he had recently? Like, within the past several weeks?
Yeah.
How many triple-doubles has he been averaging?
When
this
you
dude is
average one a
nasty.
whole year.
Yeah, the dude is nasty. So, between going up and getting rebounds over the bigs, crossing them over, shooting it in your eye, slamming it right over top of you, going back on defense, effort all around the court, that's what I would want.
Yeah, so if I had to pick one, Harden or Westbrook, I'm picking Harden. I'm picking Westbrook, not Harden. Harden has the better team, so that's what makes him look a lot better than what he is. Harden's a phenomenal player, don't get me, top 3 players in the league right now.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely saying that he has the best team out of anybody in the league, so.
So then let's follow that up, Joe.
Hey.
So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this MVP. MVP of the league. Is Westbrook a talk for that? Because many people have Harden favored right now.
Listen, everybody, the MVP award is supposed to be a player award.
Right.
I feel like you're not supposed to win that just because you have the most wins. Obviously, that goes into play.
For sure.
If your team wins or not. But I feel like if your team makes the playoffs, you definitely have a chance to win the award. All right? It shouldn't be all about, if your team is first place or not. That's not what an MVP does. An MVP is the best player in the league.
Right.
And to be the best player in the league, you have to have the best stats in the league. Harden is averaging the most points per game, but I think when you average a triple-double, which has only been done, I believe, 3 times now, and Westbrook has done it twice in 2 years. I think that says something about a player. The thing is, his team did better than what they did last year.
Yeah.
They were 8th place last year, and they came in 4th place this year. The problem with Westbrook is this year he dropped 5 points per game, but they also bring on Carmelo Anthony, Paul George, so that's obviously going to take some points away from obviously him. The problem with Westbrook was he wasn't really being as flashy because last year he was scoring 40-point games, 50-point games, and doing it with triple-double. This year has been more quiet, but he's getting a lot more wins.
Right.
So I think that alone says something about a player that he's willing to lose some points per game, but he's still giving that full effort every night of trying to go out there and do everything the team needs him to do. Get rebounds, get assists, get points.
For sure. But to take it to the MVP stats, like, I get being a team player, no doubt, that's needed, but are those stats good enough for MVP? Because Freddie actually just brought up a great point. Freddie, what's going on, bro? Glad to have you here. But he just said Harden was the best player for most of the year on the best team.
No doubt.
But LeBron was the best player for the last month of the season. So are we going year-long stats
right now?
That's not
true. Because LeBron has won best player of the month 2 months in a row.
So actually, Davin even said LeBron actually beat Harden in every category.
Every category but points per game.
Okay, perfect.
But it was a slight 2.8 points or around there. So I agree. Harden was the best player in the league for majority of the season. You are 100% correct, but I just think that with the team that he had, it's like you're gonna look a lot better. And from when he was averaging almost a triple-double last year, because he almost averaged a triple-double last year, and for him to lose about 4 rebounds per game, that hurts.
Yeah.
I mean, when dudes are averaging triple-doubles nowadays,
Exactly.
and for you to have like 4 all year after what he did last year, it's tough. I mean, but
So let me ask you this, Joe. So a lot of our viewers are obviously very experienced in the sports industry.
Yep.
But let's say for someone who's maybe a little bit younger, a little bit new, I think a train of thought might be for when we're talking all this MVP talk, very high intensity. People want their favorite player to win this MVP, and they're going to try to make a case. How important is it to make sure to look at the full year? Because MVP isn't for the last month or just for playoffs. It's over the entire year.
It's facts. Caleb's bringing up good things. He sounds like my dad, but no doubt. I think that a full stretch of the year matters. But the biggest thing that has happened this year with LeBron James is that you don't average almost a triple-double without doing it in the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
He has been overlooked all year because his team hasn't performed as well as James Harden's team.
Right.
So when we're talking about why hasn't LeBron played as well as Harden, well, it's not really true. He really has played as good as Harden, but it's just the team he's on is worse than Harden's team.
So then from the outside looking in, that X factor would be Harden due to the wins. If everything else looks similar, then there has to be something to separate it. So an MVP is most valuable, meaning you're bringing something to the table. Your team should be excelling.
That's fact.
Harden's making this team excel.
But that's true. That's a very good point. But LeBron James is playing on his worst team in his career, and they're 4th right now in the East. I will give you this.
Very true.
LeBron James did underperform today in the playoff game. They did lose, which, I mean, if he loses the first round, you can say goodbye to the MVP trophy.
Yeah.
Because even though it's not a playoff award, don't get me wrong, they will look at that. They're gonna look at that. There's no doubt. But they lost by 20 to the Pacers. Let's not overlook the season that LeBron had as being a fantastic season because we overlooked it a lot in the beginning of the year when he was still getting triple doubles, but the team was coming up short. It's tough when Harden is hooping so well and his team is playing so well because it makes him look even better. But if LeBron James had Chris Paul and Clint Capella, I'm sure he would have not lost a game this year.
And Joe, I think the other thing too, man, because I am a Michael Jordan is the GOAT fan. But to be honest, even myself, I can find myself not necessarily rooting against, but finding every case to not give it to LeBron because of how good he is. To be honest, I feel like there are a lot of haters in his game, and that's probably why he's just so
James
underrated.
has the most haters in the game.
For sure. Which it's funny how when you're at the top, people can treat you as if you're at the bottom trying to tear you down. So there is something to be said about being so good and still being so hated. So he does have a lot. He does have a lot of going for him in that aspect.
What's up, John Merklin? John Merklin says LeBron will always have stats. He only knows how to play if the game goes through him. Not many people have that luxury and limitation. Freddie also was just talking about
MJ's the GOAT. There we go.
Michael Jordan again.
There we go. So if you were the committee, who's MVP today? Who gets it?
If I'm voting and I'm like, seriously, if I have the thought of mine that I have been sticking to, which is I believe it's not a team award because the player who won last year got it and his team was 8th place.
Do you want to remind everybody who won it last year?
Russell Westbrook won it last year. And if I'm going by the same thought of mind that I did last year, I'm thinking that the MVP, because last year they weighted so much, they weighed the MVP award so much on averaging that triple-double.
Right.
It's hard to not say Westbrook would have solidified himself as throwing himself in that top 3 category.
Yeah.
I just feel like because let's not get it wrong, he's had a fantastic year, but points per game is probably the biggest stat you can have. And when you're lacking by 5 points per game, it's tough because Russell Westbrook was the only player to average 10 assists this year, though. Over 10 assists.
Wow.
The only player. LeBron James came in second. He averaged about 9 points, I want to say 6 or 7.
Okay.
So he came pretty close. Harden averaged 9.1. When we're going to rebounds, Westbrook obviously averaged 10.1. LeBron averaged about, I want to say 9, and Westbrook averaged 5. But when I come down to the stats and who did it all year, I'm going to have to say that I hate to say it, but Harden is going to win the MVP. Harden is going to win the MVP. There's no doubt that Harden's going to win the MVP. But who am I voting for if I'm the person? It's LeBron James. Because LeBron has had the most limitations this year. LeBron has had the most distractions this year. LeBron has the worst coach. Let's be honest. LeBron has had the most dookie team this year. I'm just saying, I like LeBron. I love what he does. I love the stats he's putting up, and we're getting too distracted. We're getting too distracted by the team and not what LeBron is actually bringing to the table every night.
For sure. However, I will add this comment. Even if Harden and his team were doing good, or even if the team was doing good, that doesn't mean that he's automatically in this discussion. He's obviously been doing quite a significant amount of
MVP quality, yeah.
Exactly, in order to be getting these things. So that win factor, assuming that Harden and James are neck and neck in this whole thing, you can't count out wins. You just can't. So
I'm not counting out wins.
No, for sure.
But for me to say just because the dude's in first place versus 4th place, and I mean, I'm not going to have that being the deciding factor.
No, for sure.
Because when I look at the full body of work of the players, I'm saying that LeBron James is the best player in the league.
I got you.
John Merklin says he also turned that team inside out. He is at least partly at fault for that mess of a team. And there's no doubt he's a superstar, and when a team is underperforming, dudes, like, something has to happen. When you have the best player in the league and the team is underperforming, they get nervous and something's got to happen. And they never dropped below, 4th place this year?
Yeah.
They never dropped below 4th place. So a lot of the stuff we were saying has really been a lot of just overhyping it.
Exactly.
Because if LeBron James wasn't the best player in the league and he was Russell Westbrook, no one would care.
Right.
Would anybody care?
Right. No, you're
Russell
right.
Westbrook spent a lot of time in 8th place, but we don't talk about Russell Westbrook OKC team, do we?
No.
Why? Because LeBron James is the best player
It's
in the
who
league.
he is. It's who he is.
LeBron James is the best player in the league.
It's who he is.
That's why we talk about him so much. That's why when a couple guys get traded, it's the biggest deal in the league. That's why when the coach gets on leave for health, it's the biggest deal in the league.
Yeah.
That's why we overstate a lot of the things that happens in LeBron James, Cleveland Cavaliers.
And I think Freddie honestly said it the best. He said LeBron will get credit when they win. He will take criticism when they lose. And that's the price you pay with being so amazing.
And that's it.
High
He's
highs
the best.
and low lows.
He's the best player of the year. So it's like,
Oh my goodness. Eric Oliveras, LeBron will be in New York next year. Go Knicks. Should we move on?
Who is LeBron? LeBron will be in NY.
Well, listen, I think this is the perfect time to switch over sports.
Let's go to a different question. Let's.
Yeah, so let's hit this up. So we're obviously at the start of baseball season.
Yep.
At the start of this 162 game long season.
About
A long haul ahead.
about 17 games in.
But there's already been a lot of action going around in baseball.
It's been great.
It's been good. So got a question for you from Freddie. He said, are the Mets for real? 6.0 games ahead of the Nats. Phillies have won 6 in a row. Angels have won 7 in a row. Are they for real? Pirates are in first. Are they for real? Dodgers, Yankee have slow starts. Will they be able to bounce back? Like it's like
It's been a crazy start.
it's almost like it's what you expected is the exact reverse for what you wanted to see.
Yeah, basically. But let's start off with the Mets. At this point of the year, they are for real. I'm gonna say that they're for real. But let's not forget the Nationals are for real as well.
Right.
So all it takes is a bumpy road in July to put you behind the Nats. I promise you, the Nats are not gonna be worse than the Mets this year.
They're not gonna roll over.
I promise you, the Nationals are gonna be in first place at the end of the year. Now, does that not mean that the Mets are not gonna probably win 85, 90 games? I think the Mets have a chance to win 85, 90 games. But I think that the Nationals are going to win 95, 96. So I think the Mets right now are doing amazing at putting themselves in a fast start. So maybe if they have a bumpy road in July, it won't hurt as much as if they started off, 10-6 or 10-7.
Mm-hmm.
I think this really helps with the start of the year. And I think it's going to help in the middle of the year. And I think the Mets are for real. I mean, I cannot lie anymore. I've been dissing the Mets. If they stay healthy, they're the best team in the league. They're going to be one of the best teams in the league. It's fact.
Yeah. Freddie just said, if Mets pitching staff and Cespedes stays healthy, the Nationals will have trouble catching up.
It's fact, but I don't think it's going to be that troubling for them.
Dang.
I think they're just going to be so consistent over the year. And the Mets have been consistent so far, but I don't know if that consistency is going to stay throughout the whole entire year.
Man, well, I can tell you, fellow host from Family Chats, Angel Rivera, is definitely praying.
Angel Garcet.
I called him Rivera, didn't I? Wow, so much for him being my best friend. Sorry, Angel.
His mom's last name is Rivera. It's okay.
Very true, very true. See, so I was finishing Angel Rivera Garcet.
Correct.
That's where I was going.
Correct.
But no, I know for a fact that he's praying for the Mets right now.
Let me do a quick, just a reminder.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. This is Family Chats. It's a quick episode today. We're going to try to finish in about 10-15 minutes. We really appreciate all the love. You guys are sending questions. You guys are commenting. We really appreciate it. Make sure you guys tune in next week. We might not have Buff Boy, but I will still be here. Thank you guys. Make sure you guys like us on or follow us on Instagram at Family Chats. Like us on Facebook, which you are on right now. Just drop us a quick like. We'll always be on Sundays, and we drop videos on Wednesdays. All right, let's get back to it.
Awesome. So we just got done talking about the Mets and the Nationals, right? So Phillies have won 6 in a row. Angels have won 7 in a row. Are they for real? Let's talk about the Pirates. Pirates are in first place right now. The Pirates.
The Pirates are not for real. Pirates they are not for real. No, the Pirates are playing great baseball right now, and that's just how the MLB works. There's no favorite teams. Baseball can go any way. It's not like the NBA, and it's not like the NFL, where you can just have a surprise,
right?
Where you know who's going to be good. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it takes a whole team to win a game, and not just one player, 1 or 2 players. So yeah, I'm definitely I'm impressed with the Pirates. Do I think it's going to last? I don't know. I don't think so. They're in a tough division. They got the Cubs to worry about, and they have the Brewers to worry about. So, do I think it's gonna last? I'm just not sure.
I feel you. Well,
so what's the next part of that question?
So the next part is all about what's up here on this hat, the Yankees. Now, with Yankees and Dodgers, two teams that when you think about baseball in America, you think Yankees and you think Dodgers.
It's fact.
Let's just be real.
It's fact.
Those all-time teams. Me not even being as big into baseball as many people.
That's fact.
I wear a Yankees hat all the time because I know I can never go wrong cheering for the Yankees.
That's fact.
But they've been having a slow start this year. What's going on there? What is your prediction for what is the reason why, and then what do you predict is going to be happening?
I predict the Yankees will win the wild card. It's tough because the Red Sox are playing so good right now, and they have such a good team that honestly hurt me to say, but the Red Sox, I do at this point right now. I'm saying that they're probably going to win the division. I like the Yankees. I think they can still come back. I think they can still win the division, but my guess right now would say the Red Sox would. Why are they starting off so slow? The bullpen has been a little under par of what they usually are.
As well as some injuries, correct?
A little bit of injuries. Second base, Aaron Hicks was hurt for a little bit. We've had a couple injuries. Pitching staff is a little hurt right now, but I just think it's going to come down to they're going to play better as the season progresses.
Yeah.
You know, Stanton still hasn't been full blown. Aaron Judge has been fantastic. He's gotten about 2 hits a game. He's hitting 340 right now. He's got a couple home runs. It's just going to take them to get their feet wet a little bit. I mean, Sanchez hasn't played as well. Stanton hasn't played as well. And some of the pitching staff hasn't pitched as well as they can pitch. So that's my answer to that. I think the Yankees obviously are going to come back from this. They're still above 500, so nothing really to stress about. They had a tough go of teams. So
Yeah. Now, what about the Dodgers? Are they in the same situation as the Yankees, or do you see that going somewhere a little bit different?
The Dodgers, they're struggling right now. The power is not there. They're struggling to get hits. Their bullpen has not been as good. Their closer is blowing games that he usually never blows. So it's weird that the Dodgers have played so bad, but you also look at them like they're an experienced team who you hope is going to get back into it. Because right now they look terrible, and the Diamondbacks have played so well that it's hurting them. But I mean, then again, Diamondbacks 11-4, Dodgers at 5-9. Dodgers won today, so it all depends on if the Dodgers are hitting or not. Because it seems like this year, if they hit, they hit, and if they don't, they don't. Like that's it. They'll have 2 hits a game, or they'll either score 10 runs. So it's gonna. I think the Dodgers are gonna bounce back, but right now it's looking rough for them.
Man, I feel like also with baseball, with it being 162 games, like I understand slow starts and stuff, but man, to say that this is even really starting, I feel like we're still in the beginning stages.
Yeah,
I get we're what? How many games into the season are we so far?
We are 17 games for some, 15 games for some. So
okay, so you 16 on average. And there's 162 games. There's a lot of ball
Plenty
left.
of these teams are going to be fine.
Yeah.
And we're just going to over-exaggerate this because we are a podcast.
No, for sure. And we're Puerto Rican.
So Barry Wilson says, to beat the Yankees, you just have to have a really good pitching staff. Don't give them anything that they can put out of the park because then they will have the most home runs this year. I like that statement. But I do not agree because the Yankees are my team. All right, here we go. John Merklin says, Dodgers are almost surely at least to get a wild card berth. All very early for this kind of talk. Might as well be talking about next year. You're exactly correct. It's just what Caleb said. It's super early to be even judging these teams, but we are obviously going to overblow this here.
So now I just got to ask one question, and we could do this abbreviated, but what is your expectation for Judge this year? Is he going to be the powerhouse hitter with the same numbers as last year? Or is he going to be a second-year bust?
MVP.
MVP. You're calling it right now. 15, 17 games in.
MVP. He has shown so much growth over this last off season, man. It's honestly been crazy because he's the same player. He might have had like probably the same amount of home runs he did last year at this point now, and he's just hitting so well. He's not just trying to hit it out the park. He's hitting the ball over the field. He's getting walks. The dude is playing amazing right now for being in New York and having Stanton struggle. He's playing great. He's obviously going to hit more home runs. I think he's going to hit probably about 50 home runs this year. Just let him get hot. Let him get super hot. Because right now he's hot, but let him get super hot to where he send him out the park, and the Yankees will be fine. I promise you the Yankees will be fine.
They'll be good. Davin just said, I don't think he's going to buzz, but I think Stanton is going to outshine him. He's going to do better than last year, but I still think Stanton will outshine him. Wow. And then we have Trout MVP.
We have a couple of Trout MVP comments. Listen, Trout's the best player in the league. At the end of the day, Trout is amazing, but I do think Judge has the potential of catching up to him. Trout has hit 6 home runs so far this year. Dude is unreal.
Goodness.
If Trout stays like this, he's gonna hit 60 home runs, and what are we gonna say? So
right.
I mean,
but then again,
at the end of the day, it's 16 games
exactly.
in. At the end of the day, 16 games in. Y'all can say Trout. I can say Judge. Y'all can say anybody you want. Really, it's the beginning of the year, so that's my guess.
Awesome. So now we got another question from the Family Chat's Instagram page. If you're not following it, please make sure you go follow this. You want to follow this content. It's amazing content. You get up-to-date notifications on when we're going live and all the other things that we're going to be doing. But Blaine Wellslager, excuse me if I butchered that last name.
Blaine Wellslager.
Thank you. If you could start a franchise around one baseball player from now, who would it be?
That's a great question. Because there's so many different positions and there's so many different players and there's so many great talents. There's so many young players. The player I'd pick would have to be under 25. Still leaves several MVP candidates. And I know everybody wants me to say Mike Trout, and it would probably be dumb to not say Mike Trout, but I'm going to have to go with a guy who's won a World Series, and I'm going to have to say Carlos Correa because he plays, first off, shortstop, one of the hardest positions in the league to find a great player, to have a great player. Second off, World Series win. He's done it in the playoffs, proven done in the playoffs. Trout has never done it in the playoffs. And lastly, he's Puerto Rican. What else could you want? What else could I want? That's a tough question. We're saying if you had the first pick in the first ever revamped draft, everybody's in the draft. No one's. I'm taking Carlos. One. I'm taking Carlos Correa #1. Just an amazing talent.
And
John Rickland says that's racist. John, stay out of this. John, stay out of this.
Man, and your Freddie, man, he threw out a lot of great names: Trout, Judge Correa, Kershaw, Machado, Ohtani, Stanton, Altuve.
Man, you put Ohtani on there.
Yeah, no, he's going out.
Ohtani on there. Ohtani can hit and pitch. You know what? I said
that's that new guy who
you said. I said Judge would be MVP. I'm sorry, I did not mean it. Ohtani's going to be the MVP this year. Judge will be a close second place. Ohtani's going to win the MVP this year because he's going to have 15 wins and he's going to hit 30 home runs.
Wow. And where's he from again?
Japan.
Oh my goodness. So we went from a Puerto Rican to a Japanese guy. Again, see? There's no room for racism on this thing. We're equal opportunistic for all nationalities.
And I just want to show everybody on the live this. You guys might not like it, but I just got a new sticker for the laptop. Caleb, what you think?
I think that Michael Jordan is the GOAT. And that's all I have to say on the subject.
And look at this. Guys, I did not leave y'all out. I promise you I did not leave y'all out. I still got Jordan on there. Just a quick shout out. My dad doesn't like the sticker at all, but I thought it was great.
But I think John Merkland has just said one of the best things that we can have on here. Speaking of baseball, when it comes to America's greatest pastime, Jordan is better than LeBron. A great segment into what he just wanted to show you. So
you know what? Guess
job.
what? I don't know. Because I bet if LeBron James played baseball like that Sprite commercial, he'd be pretty freaking good.
I don't know. I don't know if you'd had it. So that's listen. LeBron is a phenomenal athlete. I can't even hate on him. He's a phenomenal athlete. I'm sure he would be good.
I'm sure.
I would just love to know, where would they put him? If you had LeBron on a baseball team, where would you want to put him?
Okay, so if LeBron James is on my baseball team,
Yes.
where am I putting him?
Yes.
6 foot, 9, about 250 pounds. I think homeboy is gonna have to play right field. This is where all the big dudes are. He's with Stanton. He's with Judge. I think he's gonna hit about 40 home runs, steal about 50 bases.
And now we're all assuming that he can swing a bat.
He would not. He would not be. Video. Make sure you guys like it. Subscribe. Comment below. Share the video with your uncle who has the bad breath problem, but he will definitely love the video. So make sure you guys share and keep giving us love, and join the family.